All right, welcome back to Final Credits, where today we are going to be talking about The Fugitive.
I don't care.
Gentlemen, this week we are talking about The Fugitive, starring Harrison Ford and what's that
Tommy Lee
guy's
Jones.
name? What's that guy's name?
Tommy Lee Jones?
Yes, Tommy Lee Jones. And guess what? Tommy Lee Jones won an Academy Award for this portrayal of LT. What was his name? LT Jones.
Lieutenant
Yeah.
Jones.
You mean
Or
Agent
was it
Sam
Lieutenant
Shark?
Jones? Doesn't matter. Anyway, guys, so
So,
this movie came out back in 93. It won some awards. It had a fairly big budget for back in the day because it cost $44 million to do. It was the top 3 worldwide moneymaker for the year. It made $368.9 million. And it was right behind Jurassic Park at number 1, Mrs. Doubtfire at number 2, and The Fugitive at number 3. So,
wow.
guys, what do we think about this movie? How do we feel about, 40-something-year-old Harrison Ford? Grim, take it away.
Okay, so I know exactly why Tommy Lee Jones won an award for this. Because his character was the only one who thought things logical. Every other side character in this movie, except for his own team, was just like, let's just let it happen. We don't want to do any work at all. Let things
But
play
there's
out,
a
blah,
reason
blah.
for that.
Tommy Lee Jones is the only one who actually works in this movie.
But there's a reason for that. You want to know the reason? You want to know the reason?
Why?
Even to the last day that they were filming, there was no real script. Most of the lines that Tommy Lee Jones and Harrison Ford had were improvised for the whole movie.
Really?
No way. Really?
No way.
I
This is
had no
why,
idea about
if you paid
that.
attention,
Mhm.
Harrison Ford did not have that much dialogue throughout the whole movie.
No.
The only dialogue he had is when he was being stopped and everyone's just asking him questions and he was just saying things. Other than that, this movie was a wrong man movie. It was a find the killer movie. It was a chase movie. It was
a bunch of things.
it had you
rolled
at the
into
seat,
one
at
neat
the edge of your
package.
seat though. The
Yeah.
whole time you were just like, ooh. My only gripe with this movie is there were so many cartoonish situations that Harrison Ford got into.
Yeah.
Other than that, I thought this movie was great.
So
It's a hell of an
There's
opening
no-
scene. That's all I'm going to say. It's
Oh, yeah.
hell-
My
like this
God.
poor, this poor guy. He right off the bat. This movie starts off. Guy's wife is brutally murdered. He comes in right as she's dying. He gets caught by the police. Gets taken to court. You think, okay, maybe this is going to be about him, defending his name in court. No, he just gets sentenced to death right then and there. Cut to the bus. He's on the bus on the way to his death sentence to go into jail. The
And
bus
that's
gets into an
cartoonish
accident.
situation number 1. That was cartoonish situation number 1.
I'm going to get through this whole scene as quickly as I can because the bus gets into an accident, careens off the road, just happens to land on some train tracks, gets hit by said train. Everybody gets hurt or escapes. He escapes, runs into, has a whole crazy escape sequence, runs into Tommy Lee Jones, and falls out of a waterfall, jumps out of a waterfall into the water below. And I'm like,
So-
this is only the first 5 minutes.
I actually want to talk about that for a second because at the time of watching this, we all know The Fugitive literally for that scene, for the waterfall scene, all right? And this was, I'm going to be, I saw U.S. Marshals before I saw this movie.
Oh, wow.
I knew about this scene before I saw this movie, and I was relatively shocked to know that this famous scene happens within the first half hour of the movie.
Not even.
I thought this was I thought this was going to be the climax of the movie. I thought this was going to be one of the last bits of it, and then 5 minutes of Tommy Lee Jones figuring stuff out. But I was shocked. Genuinely shocked.
Okay, so to speak to the cartoony things like surviving the jump from the waterfall, having the apartment he's hiding out in raided and arrest the landlord's son, but they won't check the basement. Being in an elevator with cops, uh, being in City Hall, one thing after another. But this was a Tommy Lee Jones film as much as a Harrison Ford film. And
I beg to differ. I beg to differ. It was a Tommy Lee Jones, not a Harrison Ford film.
Yeah, actually, I'll go with Spade on that one.
So he should have been nominated. He won for Best Supporting Actor, but he easily could have won for Best Leading Actor as well. So how I feel about this movie, I haven't seen it for a long time. I have seen it before. I still think it holds up. I hold it in high regard. I think it's an all-time classic. And Grimm's been big on the top 100 movies that you need to see on lists. I feel like that movie is strong enough to be on 100 movies you see before you die. Right. It's that good. And even though Tommy Lee Jones is more the scene steal, excuse me. This is after the Indiana Jones movies, the Star Wars movies with those legendary roles, and Air Force One. Harrison Ford's role in this movie is in the top 5, top 10 roles. It's definitely top 5 for his classic roles. I thought he was that good as Dr. Kimmel in this movie. You have two hunts going on, or a chess game. He's going after the real killer, the one-armed man. Tommy Lee Jones, when he says that famous line, "I don't care, I'm just bringing you in." So the scenes between them, great chemistry between Sam Gerard and Dr. Kimmel as they try to go after. Well, he's going after him, and he's trying to avoid the Marshals. It's just a great time. It's an all-time great classic.
Now, I want to probably, from what you guys are saying, this is probably going to be controversial now, but I feel like I said, the opening scenes of this movie were crazy. I was just like, what the hell is going on? But I felt like after that, as the movie progressed, it started to kind of not get like plateau, but it started to just lose my interest more and more as it went on. I wasn't a fan of the twist much at the end. I feel like that's where the movie started to
kind of saw it coming though.
Yeah.
But that's why, because I was just like, oh, this is clearly the guy in the car from before. Like, that wasn't suspicious or anything like that. But I feel like this, Catch Me If You Can is a better version of this movie. Like, that same conflict that Pancakes was just talking about, that was Leonardo DiCaprio versus Tom Hanks. And, I felt done to a better degree in Catch Me If You Can. That movie I love. And, from beginning to end,
somebody had to start it all.
You're right.
Just about to say that. You're right. This movie walked, so Catch Me If You Can run. And you kind of need that in order to do this, which I think this movie walked beautifully. It was great.
Yeah. Also, just so you guys know, it's not based. The idea was taken from a TV show called The Fugitive.
The Fugitive, yeah, famous in the 60s. Huge show at the time, way before our time. No, well, not way before, but before our time.
Yep.
You know what I liked about Harrison Ford's character throughout the whole movie? Regardless of how many times he's being chased, doesn't matter whether he just got beat up. It doesn't matter whether he fell down a flight of stairs. He was always stopping to help somebody when there was someone who needed help.
Absolutely.
So
it truly showed to his character that he was a caregiver.
Right. Yeah. It made it seem like this man was a saint. Like, how can somebody be found guilty of killing their wife when all this man is doing as a doctor is saving people? And he's got federal agents chasing after him. He's got Chicago PD chasing after him. And he's just stopping at the hospital, and the kid coming out of the on the gurney and everything. Like, he's always helping somebody, and it showed how much of a saint that person is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, you're right.
1,000%.
Another thing I loved about this film that got great focus, well deserved, was the chemistry and the banter between the Marshals team.
Yeah,
I thought
that was great.
a well-oiled machine. They were all great, no matter how small the part. I'm gonna butcher his name. He was in the Bad Boy movies. Joe Pantoliano.
I know exactly who you're talking about. Yes,
He was excellent in this movie. But that going back to what you said, Grim, seeing Marshals, they were warranted their own movie. Anytime.
Joe Pantoliano.
Yeah.
Thank you.
As Cosmo.
Yeah, he took some shot in the end at the climax of the movie in the laundry room.
To get to like what Pancakes was trying to do, though, there could be a million reasons why or whatever, but I'm convinced, can't change my mind, the dynamic between the team, like Pancake said, between the Marshals in this movie spawned a sequel with the U.S. Marshals, which I think is also phenomenal. There is one plot hole I do want to talk about because I feel it's extremely glaring. It's the end of the movie. The good guys win. The bad guys lose. We see Harrison Ford taken out in cuffs with Tommy Lee Jones and his entire team go into the car. Tommy Lee Jones, uncuffs him or whatever, and they drive away.
Where's the plot?
What happens next? Oh, because this man is supposed to be either like sent to jail or he's going to be set free. We get nothing after that. I'm just like, that's it.
It's
what
under
happens next?
It's under the assumption that he's going to be let go.
Because no one has said anything. Johnny, please back me up, please.
No, you're making me realize that I didn't even I semi thought of it as it happened, but I was like, oh, the credits are on, like the movie just ended. Okay,
and nothing else happened. The only thing I found out was Julianne Moore in the hospital. That's it.
Yeah.
So you think we should have gotten a fill-up scene like in court? The judge says you're free to go.
I think we shouldn't have had that, or like the movie should have gone on for like another 5 minutes of like, due to bring in, your outstanding bravery and everything, we decide to let you go. Oh, thank you so much. I would love to be let go and mourn my wife. You bastards.
Listen,
Jesus.
You brought it up, so I'm going to speak about it. Julianne Moore, what a pointless character in this movie.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, I was shocked to see her.
For that.
And we got a young Jane Lynch too at one point.
She had a small part in the movie as well.
But again, these actors, it was pointless for her to be in that role. Like, even back then, she was a big name. Why is she?
Right? Yeah.
She was literally 5 minutes in the whole film at most. At most. 5 minutes.
And she was like everybody else who like almost caught him,
right,
and then he got away.
When they advertised this movie, like she was forefront along with Harrison Ford and Tommy Lee Jones. Like
she was.
It was supposed to be like a big thing, and she's barely in the movie.
Do you know? Expect to be like a love interest or something,
Something, not that.
Do you know if she had more scenes that were filmed that got left on the cutting room floor, possibly? Or
I don't think so.
Would it make sense with like what we saw?
I mean, it was already a 2-hour movie. It was already 2 hours and 5 minutes. But let's be realistic. Yeah. How many movies in the 90s were over 90 minutes?
I was about to say, for like a movie in 93, that's a long movie.
Right. Yeah.
Another fun fact with the cast, he had a very small role. Neil Flynn, who played the transit cop that gets shot on the train, he went on to play the janitor on Scrubs, for those of you that are fans of that show.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was another noticeable name I noticed, along with Jane Lynch and Julianne Moore. Like you said, what was the point of that character?
You could have had anybody be the doctor in the hospital, but whatever. Okay. Sure, let's just
I'm looking at the director, Andrew Davis. You know what else he directed?
What's up?
What's that?
The movie Holes, the Disney movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, fun little factoid there.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's interesting. Nothing else to his name, though. Like, he has other movies, but like nothing I've never really heard of. He has like a Steve
Oh, he did
Seagal movie called Above the Law. Chain Reaction with Keanu Reeves.
You've never seen Above the Law? He also
Nope.
did the He also did the what the hell's it called?
Yeah, he did
Under
The Fugitive, actually.
Yeah.
No. I was gonna say The Fugitive. But he also did Under Siege, which is another Steven Seagal movie.
Oh yeah. I mean,
God.
I the only contact with Steven Seagal movies I've ever had was like the ones that my dad would watch back when I was a kid. That was it. I never got into his movies. But anyway,
yeah.
fun little factoid with the director.
So
But
yeah,
I like the movie.
so we all agree that this can be considered a classic, a must watch.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Yeah,
I would consider this a classic, yes. If you decide to make this same exact movie and put it in today's time, absolutely not. But it was great for what it was in the time, and would definitely recommend this movie. You want a 90s movie? I got you. The Fugitive.
So
I agree.
much better than Last Action Hero.
Oh, Lord.
Yes.
know
Don't
about
even
that.
try.
Hey, take us
Don't
out.
even
I was about to
try.
say, dude, we're not
Don't
here
even
for that
try.
debate.
Don't even try to argue that.
You're trying to compare Arnold with Harrison Ford.
No, I'm comparing a shitty movie with a decent
Oh, God,
movie.
here we go.
Oh, God.
I didn't kill my wife. I don't care.
To be
That
or
gotta
not
be-
to be. Not to be.
Honestly,
oh my God.
that is my favorite scene in that whole movie. I didn't kill my wife. I don't
Yeah.
care. I'm just here to do my job and take you in. Like I totally understand what Tommy Lee Jones is trying to do by
Yeah.
just like, dude, like I don't care what you did. Just
I'm not the
come
judge.
with me and we'll sort this out somehow. Instead,
Another great scene, like right after the train crash and the bus crash of the prisoners, like he totally owns the local sheriff and like takes over the investigation and punks him out and says, "Oh, I'm taking control." Oh, who says? The governor of Illinois. From that start to the end of the movie, he just
So that was kind of cartoonish to me. It's like
right, but
like rabbit season, duck season, right? You know.
but again, you have to understand the dialogue wasn't really written for this movie. So
Yeah.
this is why things like that happened.
Makes a ton
But
of
yeah,
sense.
so anybody else have anything memorable to say before we no?
Other actors considered the role for Dr. Richard Kimball, Alec Baldwin, Nick Nolte,
Yeah.
Kevin Costner, and Michael Douglas. And
Michael
I think-
Douglas.
I think for Tommy Lee Jones, let's see if Gene Hackman and John Voight were considered for his role. So
I can see Gene
it's hard
Hackman in this.
You know, since you brought that up, Pancakes.
Yeah.
Originally this whole movie was going to be Nick Nolte, but after he read this script, he's like, "I'm too old for this."
Or
So-
this not script, according to you.
Or the outline of the movie.
Yeah.
But Harrison
The
Ford
outline of a maybe script.
right. Harrison Ford really wanted to do this film. Like he was the one that went up to the studio and said, "I want to do this film. I need to do this film." So they gave it
He
to him.
felt it.
And you know what? I think they did right.
Absolutely. Wholeheartedly
Yep.
agree.
So with that said, that's how we feel about this movie. And let us know what you guys think. Like, comment, subscribe. And other than that, we out. Roll credits.
Roll
Roll
credits.
We out.